Okay, I've got some free time this week, so I'm going to air my thoughts and give some insights on the Jay Slater case, which, because it is so open and there seem to be no facts, no evidence, there seems to be no real concrete storyline here. It's open to 101 possible explanations, but there are a few things that really bother me about this that have been on my mind, and I'm going to explore one of them right now. And I want to go back to the beginning when Debbie arrived in Tenerife, and I want to go back to that first message she received, which to me seemed genuine. It sounded genuine. I dismissed it as any kind of joke or troll because no one was really on the case then. And if you think about it, if you think back to that first message that Debbie got, it was worded weirdly, in my estimation. I'm a translator. I pick up on words, and when words stick out that don't seem right, I start to think, what is the real meaning behind that? All right, let me get to the point here. That didn't sound like a native English speaker writing. It sounded like a Spanish speaker using English as a second language and maybe translated into English. I'll tell you why. The message itself, and I don't have it, I can't find it again, but I remember it pretty well. That message itself said to Debbie that this was a warning. I remember that word warning. But it wasn't a warning. A warning is when you tell someone if they don't do something, there'll be a consequence. This is going to happen. That message wasn't a warning. It said, as far as I remember, say goodbye to your boy. He owes me a lot of money. There was no warning there. It didn't say, that message did not say, follow my instructions or you will be told what to do. There was no hint of any hostage or any ransom situation. It said goodbye to your boy, like he'd either been killed or was going to be killed. And that's not a warning. That is a notification. And when I thought about it, in Spanish, un aviso is both. If you say avísame, avísame means let me know. It doesn't mean warn me, but it can be a warning. If you say to someone, bueno, tengo un aviso para ti, I have a warning for you, it's both. It depends on the context. So I came to the conclusion that what Debbie received was a translated message written by someone in Spanish. By the way, in Italian, aviso is the same. It's used less as the word warning, but more as a notification. I mention that because there's Italian mafia at work in the Canaries too. So even if it were sent by an Italian, it is entirely possible that they meant this is a heads up, this is notification, not that it's a warning. So my conclusion was that was written by someone that was most probably Spanish, possibly Italian, almost certainly not English. Didn't sound native English to me anyway. What's the implication of that? The implication of that to me is that the people, if the message was genuine, the people that had Jay were local gangsters. They were Spanish. They were from the Canaries, which means I think the connection with Lancashire and Tom Hilton is very tenuous. It doesn't mean Tom Hilton wasn't involved, but it's distance from Lancashire. It seems to me that at that moment when Debbie landed, Jay was already dead or was about to be killed, and there was nothing she could do about it. It seemed like it was a very cruel message that wanted to really hurt her, presumably because Jay had done something terribly wrong. The money that was owed, yes, but maybe something else. Maybe he'd got someone else in trouble. I don't know. But that message was written, my gut tells me that was written by a Spanish speaker. So what's the connection there? I don't know. In the Jay Slater case, there's so much that leads back to this one character, the Airbnb owner, the mayor that was dismissed for corruption, essentially, for fraud. Full name, Roman Antonio Martin Canaves. Martin, by the way, is a very common last name in Spanish, but it is also one of the last names of the head of the Guardia Civil that was investigating all this. What was he called? Cipriano Martin. I don't know. They might not be the same family. It might be coincidence, but they share a last name for what it's worth. All roads lead to Roman, as far as I can see. And someone under his charge, I believe, wrote that. Um, and if this is ever resolved, I think we'll find that message was genuine. Jay was killed pretty darn quickly, or was killed shortly after that. And if he owed a lot of money, the punishment was death. And here's one more guess, that if the AP Watch story was true, the gangsters got some money back that way. If it wasn't true, maybe his organs were sold. Not unusual in Spain. But I took from that message that, listen, Debbie, there's nothing you can do about this. We've got your boy.